So what sort of options or revenues does luxury brand management offers to a student?
So luxury brand management is a very holistic program. Globally, this specialization evolved only in the year of 1990.
How is the classroom different from a regular business school? Because regular business schools are also saying that we will offer these specializations. Like, so how it's different here?
A brand is not managed only through marketing or only through sales. It is managed through 360-degree functions of a particular business. How does a 2 crore watch transport itself from its home country of Switzerland to the customer's house in Jaipur? So from a hesitant young person to a confident luxury professional, that's the journey we ensure takes place in 12 months.
नमस्ते अभय जी, थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग टाइम. थैंक यू, आपने आज हमारे एडू वॉइस के पॉडकास्ट में टाइम दिया. एंड मैं आज अपने लिसनर्स को भी बताना चाहूँगा कि अभय जी कम्स फ्रॉम अ 35 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस इन लग्जरी ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट. लग्जरी ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट की बात मैं करूँ तो इंडिया में जो लग्जरी ब्रांड्स आए जैसे लेकॉस्टे, लैम्बोर्गिनी या डिफरेंट जितने भी ब्रांड्स आए, तो अभय जी इज़ द पर्सन बिहाइंड देम, ब्रिंगिंग देम टू इंडिया. सो थैंक यू सर, आपने आज हमें टाइम दिया. आज हम आपसे समझेंगे कि व्हाट इज़ लग्जरी ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट, क्योंकि मुझे अभी तक इसकी प्रॉपर समझ नहीं है और मुझे लगता है कि अगर मुझे कोई चीज़ सीखनी है तो उसके लिए जो सबसे बेस्ट पर्सन हो उन्हीं से जाके मैं हेल्प लूँ. तो सर बताइए सर.
Thank you, Pankaj, for this opportunity. But I must correct you that I was not behind bringing Lamborghini. I was behind Lacoste, Versace, Corneliani, Cerruti, more of fashion and lifestyle brands rather than automobile brands. Trying to understand luxury brand management, well, it's a unheard field when it comes to education per se, and it's very interesting to really understand that globally this specialization evolved only in the year of 1990.
Okay.
So it's a very young stream of education. It was brought about by the luxury brands because they realized that while luxury back then was being consumed mainly in the developed markets of America and US and Europe, primarily the cultural fitment of the brands was easy in those evolved markets. But when they needed to expand into the Asian markets, they realized that we cannot duplicate the strategies of what was happening in Europe in the Asian markets, and they learnt it the hard way. That is the reason why they realized that we need to create something which is very specifically focusing on luxury brands.
Okay.
Now, why the need for luxury brands even at that level was that luxury brands by then had sort of democratized downwards from a very high level luxury to an entry level luxury. Now the customer changes when it is a high level luxury to an entry level luxury. A very good example to understand that is Armani, and unfortunately Mr. Armani just passed away earlier this week. So Giorgio Armani has built a true luxury brand in today's language because he had something called Armani Privé, which was really at the upper end of luxury. And he also had Armani jeans, which are today available in various malls of the world, Armani exchange, so to say. Now, when a brand is offering so many segments within its portfolio, obviously the customer changes. Obviously, the management requirement of that brand becomes far more different than trying to manage with a single target audience, single customer behind the brand. Hence, it was the European promoters of luxury businesses, the financial institutions which had started buying out luxury brands after the death of the designers. They realized that since we need to create continuous revenue streams, they went in for geographical expansion and product depth in terms of revenue possibilities. That is where a multi-pronged management approach was required.
Okay.
So that's really the basis of luxury brand management.
Okay. Now, when we say from a student perspective, as a student who is confused, like there are different MBA options. So, what sort of options or avenues does luxury brand management offers to a student?
So luxury brand management is a very holistic program, and student goes through 26, 27 odd subjects because what we believe in the luxury business is that it is not only marketing which is important, it is not only sales which is important, even logistics is important. So you need to visualize that how does a 2 crore watch transport itself from its home country of Switzerland to the customer's house in Jaipur. It needs special packaging, it needs special handling, it needs white glove services. So from the product design to the packaging design to the customer service to the marketing communication to the store design to the delivery of the product, everything is done at the utmost zero tolerance level. That is where a deep specialization or deep understanding of luxury from all functional perspective is important. And that is what the brand management focuses on, that a brand is not managed only through marketing or only through sales. It is managed through 360-degree functions of a particular business. And the student goes through all those subjects, which gives him a career opportunity of starting in the back end, starting in the front end, starting marketing, starting in logistics. And I'm proud to say that today, with about 5,000 students in the trade, I have people working in the logistics, I have people working in marketing, I have students working in communications, and I have students working in the front end
So you
sales
mean
as
to
well.
say that if a student has to choose luxury brand management, inside luxury brand management, there are further specializations which he can focus and make his career.
So I would say that luxury brand management is itself a specialization,
Mm-hmm.
but unlike other specializations where we focus only on one particular function, here we focus on several functions.
Okay.
Obviously, 60%, 50, 60% focus is towards branding, marketing, communications, innovation, strategy, but there is also logistics, there is also legal environment, there is also accounts and business finance, there is also entrepreneurship and luxury. And we have had instances where some of our students have become entrepreneurs. Now, you might say, what's different in a normal entrepreneur and what's different in a luxury entrepreneur? The art of going into minutest details and art of creating something which is zero tolerance with respect to negative delivery or with respect to poor time management, with respect to poor quality, that is luxury entrepreneurship.
Okay. Now, if a student has to make his career, let's say he or she has completed the luxury brand management. After that, what's the first job which they can land into? What type of brands they would be working in?
Right. So, Pankaji, the reality of the market is that 60% of the business happens through customer interfacing role. Instances could be in banking or insurance or automobile or watches or fashion or hospitality or travel. So, the sectoral width is really huge for a student to start with because the program focuses on dealing with the HNI consumer, understanding the customer and the behavior of a HNI customer. And you can imagine yourself that the same customer who travels in a first class or a business class, buys a Rolex watch, drives around in a Mercedes and lives in a Oberoi hotel during his travels. So we need to really understand the consumer. The product is not as important. So the student has an option to start his career in different product categories. Uh, Functionally, I would say 60% of them would need to start with the customer interfacing roles, which is sales. 40% go into other managerial functions, which could be logistics or brand management or marketing or PR or events.
Okay. Now, if we say student, like in India, there is already, that there is huge requirement. These brands need huge requirement. What is the scenario? Scenario A, student goes and search for the jobs and gets the job directly in any of the brand. And what's the scenario in scenario B? First, he completes the course in brand management, luxury brand management, and then he opts for a job.
Right.
So, can you give a projection of the career revenue of student
Sure.
A and student
Sure.
B?
So if I look at a student A who comes from, let's say, uh, a good socioeconomic background where his communication is good, his command on language, whether it's Hindi, English, or local language, is really good. He knows how to dress well, he's got a good personality, and he knows how to interact with people. He can surely begin his career with a luxury brand in the front end when it comes to the sales function. However, if he has undergone a luxury brand management as a program, then his career growth and acceleration after sales or beyond sales is going to be much more faster, not only not possible, but someone who goes and joins directly at sales,
Then he
the
will be remaining in
chances of
sales.
remaining in sales are going to be very, very high. There are very rare chances of him graduating into any other managerial function.
How is the classroom different from a regular business school? Because regular business schools are also saying that we will offer these specializations. Like, so how it's different here?
So in our case, as the name suggests, we focus purely on luxury. So we are going deep and wide when it comes to luxury. How are we different? There are various ways in which I can say we are different as compared to other MBA schools. Number one, we focus a lot on experiential learning. How do we focus on experiential learning? None of the faculty who comes and teaches here is from a pure play academic background. They all are industry practicing professionals. So either they are still practicing or they have recently retired from practice. So they
Okay.
carry real time experience of managing those brands in a luxury environment for the past several years of their journey. Third, we encourage industry visits on a regular basis.
Okay.
The visits could be in automobile, in watches, in fashion, in hospitality, in travel, etc., to expose the student into the wide spectrum that the luxury business offers. In addition, we also conduct master classes. Those master classes are delivered as industry connect sessions by practicing professionals who are not faculty at that particular term. So you could have a very senior person coming in and talking to the students for that particular subject, which could be watches or could be fashion or could be any. Fourth, we also conduct panel discussions during inductions where we invite several industry professionals on top because we encourage the student to understand that his journey is going to begin in the customer interfacing role where it's going to end as becoming one of them. So we encourage them to choose their ideal during the induction program itself and then they sort of can learn from their journey.
Okay. Now, if you say experiential learning, so I see that all these brands have came from Milan or some other France and these locations. So, do we have some kind of experiential learning program for the students like this, where we send them?
Yes. So good question, Pankaji. So you're 100% right that very early in our market research, we realized that it is important for the student to understand the DNA of the brand or the origin of luxury. And hence, we have created a program where one term the student has an option to travel to Milan and spend a 3 months period in understanding the various depths of the origin of luxury by visiting the luxury stores there, visiting luxury brands over there, having a lot of experience with, say, fashion shows or visits to factories like a Lamborghini, plus travel exposure on a regular basis. So, the whole intent is that they are able to create a network not only in India but also in Milan.
Great. And generally, students, how do they spend? Like, it's a 3 months program. So, how do they spend 3 months? Do they work in a specific company as an internship or some kind of what is the general process?
No, so the process is like any other student. They go through admission process. I mean, once they are admitted with us, if they choose that particular stream, it's automatic admission to that school. Our partner in Milan, which is Academia del Luso. The program is structured for 150 hours contact program, but the calendar time available to them is 3 months. It is purposely designed in a manner that there is time for extracurricular activities which they can do on their own. We do not provide any internships there because of visa limitations, and we don't want to be involved there because most of the countries have their own visa and language restrictions as a barrier. So our focus is education through experience
Experience.
and networking.
Do students have exposure to luxury brands during the course itself, or how does that work?
Right. So as I said, I mean, the exposure to luxury brands is firstly through the faculty, secondly through industry visits, third through industry connect sessions, and
Okay.
fourth, not the least, is also option of going to Milan.
Okay. And as a founder, how do you feel like students working in brands like Lamborghini, Mercedes, Armani, or BMW? How do you feel like?
I feel really proud because it's been a slow journey, but building a luxury brand is really very slow process because, as I said, it's a zero tolerance zone. There are no shortcuts if you really want to be luxury, and it's the same that we are duplicating in building LCBS as a luxury educational brand. So we feel very proud when we see some of our students working in the names that you just mentioned, and it's very inspiring for the other students to learn from their journey. We also have alumni talk sessions with these students so that the students can learn from what has been their experience.
And any student success story which you remember that and that made you feel, yes, this is why we built LCBS?
Well, so there are many success stories, Pankaji. So far, I mean, as I said, that we have some 5,000 students and executives in the business across sectors. But students are students. Some remain in touch and they take mentorship all through their life. So definitely, I remember one young girl who was part of our executive education program. We helped her journey through. She was earlier with Bhimji Zaveri, but then we helped her get into Loda Armani Apartments, then into Lamborghini, and she remained as the CMO Lamborghini India for a considerably long amount of time. And right now she works with Sony Music. She's developing the Sony Music as a brand. So you see the career journey evolution of this young girl has been very inspiring. In addition to that, we have had students also working as CMO Lamborghini for the North India zone, I mean, from our full-time program. And she's been remained there. She joined as an intern and she graduated into now being the CMO for the entire North India. So there are many such examples
This
that.
is great. This
Yeah.
is really great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. If you had to describe the ideal LCBS student, so what qualities they would have after completing a course here at LCBS?
So it's a very interesting question, Pankaj, because what do we see when we give admission? So I must narrate here to your audience that we are very selective. I mean, we are like the Ferrari. We don't give admission to everyone. We choose whom we want to give to admission to. So every 3 students that I interview, I give admission to only one. That's how selective we are, despite the fact that it may not be commercially a very wise decision. But again, the realms of the brand management that we need to ensure that the product is delivered in a manner which is acceptable to the industry. What is the change before and after? So from a hesitant young person to a confident luxury professional, that's the journey we ensure takes place in 12 months. Each student is mentored personally. It is customized their learning while there is generic learning, but there is customized learning for every student right down to how he or she expresses himself, how he or she dresses up, how he or she writes a blog, right? So we pay attention to very minor details.
Nowadays, digital marketing is also getting very important. If you are doing any program like a business school program, then definitely digital marketing is also important. So, do we give training to for that also? How does that work? Like,
So we have a subject on luxury digital marketing, and that we take them through case studies, and we have a digital marketing person, someone as senior as you, coming and delivering that particular entire subject. And there are case studies which are only on luxury brands around that.
okay, okay. How do you ensure that LCBS is not just another MBA program but a true launchpad to luxury industry? How do we ensure that?
Because we focus only on one, which is luxury. All our courses revolve around luxury, so we are highly niche, super niche in the category of luxury. It's a launchpad because we've been successful with a 100% placement record so far. In fact, I'm proud to say that every student who passes out has 3 to 5 opportunities to choose from, as compared to a normal MBA school where don't even get even one opportunity.
Now, there are a lot of doubts when a student apply for luxury brand management. So, what piece of advice would you like to give to young aspirants who are thinking of entering into the luxury, but they doubt that whether they fit in or not?
I think they should not doubt, because our selection process with respect to aptitude test and counseling and the personal interview that I conduct with them along with my other senior industry colleagues, we thoroughly filter the student, and those students whom we feel we will not be able to convert into luxury professionals, we politely refuse them, that this is not meant for you. But I'm happy to state that we have changed lives when we have had students where we saw the potential and spark in them with respect to the learning attitude and the attitude of wanting to change. So girls and boys from very, very small towns in maybe West Bengal or Orissa or Assam, where they come in as very, very, very hesitant young people, but they leave as very confident professionals.
Now, this is about student. Main thing is parents.
Ji.
They are very much they are very much uncomfortable because they are not aware about things. They are not much aware about the luxury brand management, and they are investing amount. So, what piece of advice would you like to give to the parents who are thinking or deciding whether they should move for it or not?
Well, so I mean, as parents, if I was a parent and I was unaware of a new sunrise industry, I would also be risk averse. And I would probably advise my child to go in for something which is very normal, run of the mill. But yet, I would only want to advise the parents that you have to be open and you have to be innovative towards new career opportunities, because as you mentioned, digital marketing, artificial intelligence, metaverse, so many new fields are coming up, and how long are we going to push our students to become accountants or marketeers, which is really a run of the mill. So CAs and engineers and doctors, we have oversupply of them. So why don't we focus on an industry where the demand is high and the career opportunities are remuneratively much more better than the regular run-of-the-mill programs.
Now, what do you think about the ROI of this program, Luxury MBA?
So the ROI is good because, as I said, 60% of the students have to begin the journey with a customer interfacing role. What people or parents are not aware is that this customer interfacing role comes in attached with a very high incentive. The incentive is high with respect to percentage. The incentive is high because of the high absolute value. Imagine selling an Audi car, and if you sell 10 Audi cars in a month, your incentive is going to be far more higher than your
Than
base
your
salary itself. So depending on the aptitude of the student, we have had cases where the students have had a ROI of even less than 1 year. So it's really depending on a very, very individual. We cannot make a generic rule. So people have to be prepared that we need to learn to talk and sell to the HNI community.
What exactly does this course cover? Can you give us the structure of the program? Like how does this program goes?
So as I said that they go through 25 to 26 odd subjects. Structurally, it's a 2 years MBA as per UGC requirement. So we have divided it first year as academics, which is 4 terms of 3 months each, and the second year is on the job training, which we arrange for the student, which is technically a job but is considered on the job training / internship by UGC. So in the first year, they go through 4 terms, which is technically the first term is a retail term where they learn everything about retail, which means from retail operations to retail store design to marketing to communications to segmentation, etc., etc. So they get a hang of really what the retail business is all about. In the second term, they start getting into the management term, where we talk of consumer behavior, we talk of innovation, we talk of strategy, because innovation in our business plays a very important role. What is luxury today is going to become mass market tomorrow. So it's the luxury brands which focus on constant innovation. Innovation is a very, very important part of the second term. In the third term, they start getting into the entrepreneurship term, and in the fourth and the final term, they come into the basics of management, where they have an option to also go to Milan. And in Milan, they go through digital marketing, they go through sustainability, they go through branding practices, they go through specialization of leather goods. So the program is very, very holistic with 25, 26 odd subjects.
Okay. What are the some of the top companies where LCBS students have landed internships or jobs?
I mean, cross-sectorally, I would say that my students work for a Lamborghini, they work for a Rolex, they work for a Louis Vuitton, they work for Hermes, they work for Chanel, they work for a Tiffany, they work for a Bulgari, they work in Delhi duty-free shops, they work in Taj hotels. So, I mean, cross-sectorally, the top of the line brands that you can think of, and you would find LCBS student there.
Okay. Now, what's the average salary packages right now the students are earning? LCBS students,
So,
if you say.
the last batch of the students which just passed out, they have been placed at an average package of 5.5 to 6 lakhs.
Okay. Okay. And 3 years down the line, what's their career progression? How much package they are?
So, as I said, even on the starting phase, if they are getting into a customer interfacing role, they can make up to 12 to 18 lakhs in the first year itself. But on average, within 3 years, you can expect average LCBS students to be in the 10 to 12 lakh bracket.
Okay. And how is your network so strong? Like, how do you bring brands like Chanel, Lamborghini, or Cartier in the classroom?
Well, that's because perhaps number one, I come from the industry, and number two, I understand exactly what the industry needs. So we innovate the curriculum on a daily basis in terms of changing environment, changing consumer behavior. In fact, customization to a particular brand on the request is also carried out as far as possible within the framework of UGC. So we have had requests from brands that if you can also factor in this particular program into any of the subjects. So we do that to accommodate easy employability of the student.
Okay. Do you think students really get that commission-based opportunities in luxury, and how does that impact the earning potential?
As I mentioned, so people who we know of cases where the student did not want to join sales, but when he joined sales, he did not want to leave sales because the ROI there and the importance of working in sales is so very high because every customer you deal with is a super HNI. So the network you make with the HNI community is the major incentive. I mean, imagine having somebody like a Sachin Tendulkar on your fast dial because you're like a personal advisor to him. It's just a figurative. I mean, I don't mean Sachin Tendulkar, but it's a figurative. And people of that league are your customers from various functions, from politics to business to cine stars to sports celebrities. That's the opportunity that the sales is providing. B, the incentives for the high value product, whether it's a Rolex watch or a Lamborghini car. I mean, if you think of the incentive, that becomes, so students who join sales, they don't want to give up sales because they continue to expand their network, they continue to be close friends with such people, they continue to make good amount of money. So
Okay.
it's very, very attractive to be in that place.
Now, luxury consumption in India is already very booming,
on the rise.
especially when we see Gen Zs and millennials.
Right.
So, where do you see luxury market in the next 5 to 10 years, and how will these LCBS graduates will get benefited from that?
So, Pankaj, the question is that as per statistics which are available on the internet, that currently the overall industry in India is at about $60 billion, projected to grow to $200 billion in the next 5 years. So, if the industry is going to grow by 3.5 times, obviously the manpower requirement is also going to grow because more brands are going to come in continuously. And now with the rise of GDP, as you said, and the changing behavior of Gen Z and the millennials, money is not a problem. They want to have a good quality of life. And if they are earning well for themselves and they have to really take care of themselves, they go for the best phone, the best car, the best clothes, the best makeup, the best movies, the best experiences, etc., etc. So that is trickling down to the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So consumption is on the rise, and we just spoke about how a Sabyasachi is now available on Tata Click. Why is he on Tata Click? Because he wants to penetrate the smaller towns of India as well. So it is going to become a habit. Consumption of luxury is going to become a common stay. And with that, the demand for luxury professionals is going to rise as well.
Will rise. So thank you, sir, for giving so much insights on luxury brand management. Now, just as a closing piece or as a advice for someone who is listening, who is unsure whether they should go in luxury management as a real career or not, what would you say to that person?
So as I said that, I was addressing the parents a little while ago that this is the new sunrise industry. What does it give you? It gives you a comfortable working environment. You're always well dressed. You're dealing with people who are high on knowledge, high on money. They are people who are cash rich and time poor. So you need to continuously upskill yourself to be able to engage with them. That motivation itself is going to keep you very high on the knowledge hemisphere. You'll never get stagnated. The opportunity to travel overseas with the customer, without the customer, for the brand, for a holiday is super, super high in this. It is a regular practice for most luxury professionals. So look at the positive side of it and take a very leapfrog jump of faith, because this is the sunrise industry as of today.
Now, last question again. When a student is choosing regular MBA and at LCBS, why they should choose LCBS?
So I would say a luxury MBA versus a non-luxury MBA, LCBS. Okay, they choose LCBS, definitely. That's their choice. There are other schools offering that as well. The good part of it is that a luxury MBA student can work for a non-luxury brand, but a non-luxury MBA student can he work for a luxury brand? It's a question mark.
Agreed.
Right? So your career opportunities are much more wider once you do a luxury MBA, because since it's a zero tolerance zone, even the education is far more detailed, it's far more in depth as compared to a normal brand. And there are cases of luxury MBA students working for a Uniqlo, for example. Uniqlo is not a luxury brand, right? So the opportunity is definitely far more higher, and hence I would encourage students to choose this rather than a normal MBA.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for so much insights, and definitely I feel lot of students would get benefited from this episode of Edu Voice. So thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pankaj. Thank you. Thank you very much.